You're watching Cox Connections only on Cox 11. If you live on the peninsula, it's not news that Fort Monroe is closing on September 15, 2011. What still isn't entirely clear is what impact that will have on our community, most specifically the city of Hampton. Joining me now to talk about the latest and to help understand the story behind this historic fort is Mayor Molly Ward from Hampton. Mayor Ward, thank you for being with us and welcome to the show.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Well, tell us a little bit about what's going on with Fort Monroe. We know the closing is going to take place in September, but what's the latest?
Well, we have a new board that came into effect July 1st, and it's an 11-member board. Some of the members are appointed by the governor. Some are our elected officials, 2 from the city of Hampton. I'm included in that group. So we have a much smaller new board to get us through this transition year. The Army's going to turn over the keys to the Commonwealth of Virginia to the vast majority of the fort on September 15th, which is right around the corner.
So what are some of the most significant features and aspects, and really even the historical significance of Fort Monroe?
Well, you know, I think a lot of people don't realize all the history that took place at Fort Monroe. There's many things that happened there. Robert E. Lee was stationed there and helped design the original stone fort. Jefferson Davis was imprisoned there during the Civil War. President Lincoln was at Fort Monroe during the Civil War and helped plan the assault on Norfolk. It's the last time a president was personally involved in a military assault. So many, many historical things happened at Fort Monroe, but the most significant things, the things of national stature and that are unique to the Fort Monroe, are the African-American history components. The first African-American child born in the American colonies, William Tucker, was born at Fort Monroe.
Wow. The
first African-Americans to arrive in the American colonies arrived at Fort Monroe. And most importantly, in my mind, is the contraband slave decision during the Civil War.
And these are all things that, particularly when you talk about these aspects of African-American history, this all took place right here in this region. And so this reason why this designation, I guess, as a national park, this is not just about the city of Hampton.
No, absolutely not.
This is really an issue. It's a national issue.
Absolutely, absolutely. And I often say that one of the things we're trying to do, the city of Hampton's trying to do, and the Fort Monroe Authority, together with many citizen groups, is trying to get a National Park Service unit established at the fort because of the national significance of the events that took place there. And personally for me, the African American history is the part that makes it most unique and is very, very important.
Can you update us a little bit on those efforts and how it's coming?
Absolutely. The Fort Monroe Authority has appointed me to be the legislative aide or legislative liaison on the National Park Service issue. In addition, you know, I also wear the hat of the mayor of the city of Hampton, so I represent the council and the citizens who so desperately want a fort there. And the National Park Service is very open and understands how important the fort is and believes it would fit beautifully into their portfolio. And our elected representatives here in Hampton Roads have been enormously supportive. We met just last week with Congressman Forbes, Congressman Ridgell, Congressman Whitman, and Congressman Scott, and both our senators, Webb and Warner, who all
supportive of this effort.
Absolutely. Everybody recognizes how important this is. Unfortunately, we're at a very difficult time fiscally in the country, as everybody knows, and so the challenge is going to be getting an appropriation to manage the assets of the fort, the significant historical assets. But I often say if Monticello is for sale, the National Park Service would not have difficulty in getting support for an appropriation to buy it.
It really is about what we value, and this is a piece of history, as you pointed out earlier, that its significance goes way beyond just the city of Hampton.
Absolutely, absolutely. And the story of the African-American experience in our country can be told there. And it's not being told anywhere else in the country. And as you know, a lot of African-American history has just been lost and not told. I'm one of every 4th grader in Virginia, I think, who takes Virginia history in elementary school. And this happened in my own hometown, and I didn't know about it.
Didn't know.
Yeah,
and I'm a product of Virginia, and some of the things that we've chatted about recently, I was not aware of these as well.
Right, and that's just wrong. Yeah. I mean, and so I feel an ethical and moral obligation in addition to all the other passionate reasons to be in favor of a national park unit to support this and to see what I can do to help
What other organizations are involved in this effort?
There are many organizations that are involved in this effort. The lead organization is the National Park Conservation Association, they're very involved. We have a very local, fervent group locally, the Citizens for Fort Monroe National Park, which have been a huge asset and a huge help in terms of lobbying. Every historical preservation society you can name is in favor of this effort, from Preservation Virginia to the Civil War Trust, all of those kinds of organizations.
And at the state level, at the Commonwealth,
Absolutely.
As well, there's been an effort around helping as well?
Yes, the governor has been very supportive of the effort. And a matter of fact, this legislation that we got passed in the General Assembly, this past General Assembly session, to deal with Fort Monroe, has language in it that gives the governor the authority to transfer property to the National Park Service, which was very, very important. And it passed the Senate and the House unanimously, and we expect the governor will sign it into law.
So if I'm listening to this, I mean, clearly there are people who feel strongly about this and would like to figure out a way to help. What would you suggest they do?
Well, the most important thing we can do is contact our congressional representatives. They know this is important, and I feel that they're all 100% with us, but it always helps to know that the public is behind you and that everyone cares about the fort being preserved. In addition, any information they want or any way they want to get involved, they're welcome to call the City of Hampton at 757-727-6315. The City of Hampton has a website we've started so people can join and ask for updates and information. We want to hear from everyone. So
it's, again, you've been incredible, shown incredible leadership around this whole issue, and we only have about a minute left. It's 50 years from now or 100 years from now. What would you like to see? What would Fort Monroe look like if you had the opportunity to script it out?
If I had the opportunity to script it out, as much of it would stay as green and pristine as possible. I would like to see us remove everything that's less than 50 years old, or more than 50 years, 50 years young, I guess, and have it removed. And I would like the fort to look as much as possible as it could as when the contraband slaves were first freed. And so people could go there and have the experience and understand somewhat what it might have felt like to be an enslaved American who arrives with the clothes on your back at this fort and tries to rebuild your life in the burned ruins of the city of Hampton. So I think that that's what the National Park...
What a great vision. I just say, again, I'd be remiss if I didn't thank you personally for your leadership around this issue. Again, you are the mayor of the city of Hampton, but at the same time, you're doing something that is not just valuable for the city, not only for this region, not only for the Commonwealth of Virginia, but for this entire nation. And I just want to thank you for your leadership on this issue.
Well, thank
you for joining us today.
Thank you, and thank you for your help. And we need everybody at the table. Great. So thank you very much.
All right, if you're listening to this, make sure you call and get on board with this effort. Well, stay with us also. We're keeping you connected to our shared community, and we'll have more Cox Connections right after this.